there's something that's get mentioned, something Rampa says about in the cave of the ancients. And it's interesting because it's kind of there between the lines, but he puts it like this: there is no war without epidemics. You wasn't really think about pandemics exactly, right? Like, if you look during the First War, the Spanish flu happened, and then in the Second World War, there was typhoid fever, huh? It went around and nobody really knows what it was. Yeah, and now we're having another one, right? That's it. And you would say it happens like that. Actually, he tells it as a story that the Lama, who was his guide, Mita Dondup, that might not really be his actual name, but the name he used, kind of to defend, yes, and even to protect the people in Tibet. Back then, his friends, or, well, his Lama, his guru, his master, he used to say that people fall ill mentally, and that gets reflected in an epidemic here on earth because people are sick through their own malice, violence, hatred, and ego. Yeah, in general, right? Yeah, so that kind of shows up as epidemics, like a purge. It's something that's happening nowadays, right? It's kind of interesting because there was this economic war going on, and then, boom, this started. And then the epidemic, right? They've kind of been keeping their distance, just letting us mess ourselves up. But maybe they're watching and they could deal with nuclear fallout. But they'd only step in if they felt like it, like actually interfere. Not meshing with our free will, right? And in a few years, if this keeps up, I mean, if we decide to blow ourselves up, yes, there's nothing you can really do, right? To see what they might be able to get out of it. Anyway, that's why they're here, right? I'm going to give you my testimony as lived experience because this isn't about theories. We have theories in the mind, but what we live is the direct awareness of events. So, according to me, right? According to Henrique Barrios, they don't want to interfere because they can't. But all of us, a good portion of us, become aware that we don't need weapons. And if the world's armies lay down their weapons, at the very moment they would come down among us. And they will offer us all the culture and the science that, by inheritance, all of humanity has the right to receive. But only when we understand that the most important thing is to have peace in our hearts. So each of us here is part of it, within ourselves. Spreading peace all around. This is something you actually live. It is interesting in that regard because there is a certain convergence with what Rampa also discusses. There are authors who speak about life on Venus and indeed on other planets as well. It is interesting to note that people often interpret this as a meaning that what is predicted come from certain masters who enter the astral plane and perceive all possibilities within the Akashic records. Yes, these are probabilities of a war, probabilities of them. So, Rampa used to talk a lot about things like that, saying something will happen around the year 2000, 2000 and something, right? We're living in 2022, right? But it's interesting because people used to say, like, quoting what his Lama Mingyar Dondup told him, that some idiots think we know the exact dates, but we actually know the probabilities. It could happen in, sure, 1985, or it could happen in, I don't know, 2032.